Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. I think it's 3 o'clock local time. Nice job. Glad you guys were all here. Dottie made her flight. That's tremendous. Always good to be on time. Thank you for taking part with us today. We are 5 months away from the opening ceremonies of the Solheim Cup matches, the 13th staging of the Solheim Cup in Parker, Colorado at the Colorado Golf Club. The dates are August 13th through the 18th, and the United States currently leads the Solheim Cup competition 8-4. So this is a big one this year, and we have an announcement to make. I want to acknowledge a couple of people that are here. John Solheim is here, right in the back. Thank you, John, for being here. Chairman and CEO of Ping. Louise Solheim is here as well, and Sandy Solheim. Let's give them a round of applause. And Louise, it's great to see you here as well. Louise Suggs is here in the front row. You are applying for the team. Get that one down. Captain selection.
She's one of my picks.
Okay, well, there we go. We've got an extra announcement that we didn't know was coming today. Congratulations. So I'm joined by Meg Mallon to my left, the U.S. team captain, 18-time winner on the LPGA with 4 majors and a 9-time Solheim Cup member, 8 as a player and 1 as an assistant captain. Dottie Pepper, the U.S. team assistant captain, running through the resume, 17-time winner on the LPGA, 2 majors, 6 times a competitor on the United States Solheim Cup member. Now, the team will not be finalized, I'll get to you in a second, will not be finalized until the Rico Women's British Open. That is August the 4th. The top 8 on the U.S. Solheim Cup points list, the next 2 highest Americans ranked in the Rolex rankings, and then 2 captain selections, which will now just be 1 because we've already got that settled with Louise being on the United States team. Sharpen up the short game. Colorado Golf Club's very difficult. There's some testy spots out there on those greens. Now,
it's in the altitude, though. She's going to hit it really far.
That's right. You will hit it far. You will. The captains are now finalized, and I introduced Laura Diaz, and actually I'm going to let you handle the introduction.
I'm happy to announce that I've selected Laura Diaz as my second assistant captain for the 2013 U.S. Solheim Cup team. And as I look in the back of the room, I'm thrilled to see a lot of Solheim Cup players here to support her, and of course she's crying already. I have 2 assistants that cry like I can't believe.
Lopez started it.
Yeah, I guess. But, you know, obvious reasons. Laura is as passionate about the Solheim Cup as any player that's ever played in the history of the Solheim Cup. She's played on 4 Solheim Cup teams. I've been fortunate to play on 3, I believe, of the 4 that we played together. When I talked to Laura about it, I knew she was playing a full-time schedule, and I felt that Laura could easily have a big year this year and make the team, and I felt like she could do both, be a playing assistant if that came around, so I didn't have a problem with that whatsoever, but I just knew I needed Laura on this team and by our side, and I'm just thrilled she said yes.
That she did. So why don't we start with you? Your reaction beyond the tears.
Wow. It is the greatest honor in my career. I think playing on the Solheim Cup team 4 times was such an honor, a pleasure, a privilege, but the passion for the game really comes out that week. And when Meg asked me, I was really just in awe, surprised, shocked. I didn't even know what to say. Meg is one of the people that I respect the most in the game, and was on 3, I believe we were all victorious on all of the teams that we played on together, and you know, she was always one of the ones making that big putt on the last hole or to win a big match. So I respect Meg beyond words, and so it's such a great honor to have been asked to do this.
Can you take us through the phone call? What is that like?
Well,
and
actually,
you've been keeping this under wraps very well, I might add.
I was.
There were reasons.
Yes.
Why don't we start with that?
Actually, I hit it pretty well because Laura represents a jewelry company. Then I was looking at her jewelry for possible gifts for the team. And I had a function at my house with several players that I'd run a charity event down in South Florida. And Laura was there, and I snuck her away and pretending that we were going through the jewelry. And even she didn't know what I was doing. And I said to her, you know, how do you feel about being an assistant captain for the Solheim Cup? And we talked through several things, obviously, just about schedule, her playing full-time and all that. And she said, well, I need to go home and talk to Kevin, her husband, about it. And Kevin looked at her and said, are you nuts? How did you not say yes right away? So she called me right away and said, I'm going to do it. So it was terrific. I'm thrilled that she is. She was on my short list for a long time, and I'm just glad and happy that she's on board with us.
We'll take some questions in just a moment. Dottie, I know you answered a bunch of questions when you were selected as an assistant captain by Meg, so you've been through this drill. From your perspective, what does Laura add?
Well, she told me she's not doing stats, so I guess that's in my lap. But what she adds is the day-to-day component on tour because she's still an active player. My schedule with the PGA of America and other things that I have going on is somewhat limiting. I'm planning on coming to 3 or 4 events, even past this one, but it's not the schedule that she will play as the team start to take its final shape. So I think that was the biggest thing, was to have someone that could really feel the heartbeat of what was happening from a week-to-week standpoint, and really have a feel of how the team is shaping up, and more than just who's playing well, how emotionally, how everybody's handling things as the year goes on. And she's got to play, so she's got her hands full, but we know she can handle it. But first and foremost, it was just have somebody that was really still in tune every day.
Eyes and ears, Meg? I mean,
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah, definitely. I knew she was going to be out, week in and week out here playing with the players that, I know the majority of the players out here, but there's some young players I haven't seen play a lot, and Laura would be playing beside them. And she can, fill me in, and not to make those players nervous when they get paired with Laura, but
They will be.
They're already nervous. I mean,
just to let them know I have other spies out here too, so it's not just Laura. But it's nice to have that and the feel of what's going on week in and week out. You can't replace that. I can't be out here and do that. And to have someone out here week in and week out is invaluable to me.
Is that going to be a difficult challenge to focus on golf and be a scout, if you will, as well?
I mean, I think what I do is difficult, period. So I don't think that it's going to be much different. I mean, I'm a multitasker. So I think that, Meg and Dottie will tell me when they really need me to focus on something, and that's when I'll do it. I told Meg when she asked me, and even before, that I wanted to make this team. So I think that, I will go out with that, and I have gone out with that as my focus. And, the goal is to be a playing assistant captain alongside Dottie. So we were trying close on it. Dottie said, you're not trying it on to play in, because I go to swinging, and I go, oh, yeah? So, there's... obviously, I that's my goal. I want to be playing. So I'll be watching and doing as asked to do by my captain.
Let's take some questions. Questions from the room?
There's no question. Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you just give us some of your favorite Solheim moments, or one favorite Solheim moment?
One favorite. Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know if it's favorite or not favorite, but a very memorable match I had between, it was Kelly Robbins was my partner, and it was against Suzanne Pedersen and Annika. And it was a very tight match. It was back and forth the entire day, and it went 18 holes. And, I think that we lost the cup that year, but it was a very intense match, and the crowds were unbelievable. We were in Sweden, Barsebäck. I think, the moment of making a putt on 17 to make the match go another hole, those moments are extremely memorable. But I think my first Solheim Cup would be the most memorable. When I was done with my match early, I think through 14 holes or something, and then we all just gathered around the 15th green, and we had won the cup. And I think at that point I was oblivious that we had even won the cup, because I wasn't keeping track of how it was all going, and everyone's going crazy, and we're all on top of each other. So I think the most memorable one was the first one, because you never really grasp what it's all about until you're there. I was lucky enough to hit the first tee shot that year that started the matches. Julie was my partner. So, I mean, I could go on and on. I think every moment I've ever had there is memorable. But winning the cup is obviously the goal. The Solheim Cup is something that you don't get to compete for every year. It's only every 2 years. So every moment I think I cherish and look forward to bringing the Solheim Cup back to the U.S. this year.
Other questions? Mike Wan?
Okay, knowing that our friendship hangs at the balance of this answer, how long have you known this?
Since January, yeah, 2 months.
And you think chicks can't keep a
I
secret?
I didn't know in December, just so you know.
Yes, right here.
Dottie, can you think of ways in which all the years that you were announcing for the tour can contribute to what you're going to be doing here as the assistant captain?
Yeah, I covered, 4 Ryder Cups, 3 President's Cups throughout that time. And if anything, I think it was watching captains that were completely different across the spectrum. You got Fred Couples, who just totally gets out of the way. You had Corey Pavin, who was very hands-on, didn't let his assistants even talk to the press. Nothing came out unless it came through Corey. So there were completely opposite things that I've seen over the course of certainly 8 years with NBC. I think that the things that I saw most were the best captains just got their players in position and let them go. They didn't really overanalyze the whole situation. A lot of like personalities were paired together. They went with golf balls. There was certainly a philosophy, but I think the best thing I saw operate best was get the players in the mode they need to be to play, and then just get out of the way. Yeah, I was at a function at Port St. Lucie last night, and they were talking about Tom Watson being the captain of the upcoming Ryder Cup team, and his whole philosophy is just that. I don't care what they do. I just want them to be in the best frame of mind they can to go play the golf they already know how to play. And I think that's kind of been where we've been at since July. Mm-hmm. Every decision that's been made has been get them in the best atmosphere they possibly can and then just turn them loose.
Other questions? Beth Ann, did you have another one?
I have to ask.
Of course you do.
I mean, I'd get in trouble if I didn't.
It's already been asked, so you
So,
need
yeah.
Okay, well, you know, there was an incident a few years ago.
Really?
Words were said, and I know it was tough for you in the aftermath. Even like the next year, it was still tough for you. Where does that stand now for you? And obviously, I'm sure you have had conversations about it with Dottie and Meg, and just kind of.
You want me to take it, or you?
I'll have the rebuttal.
Welcome to the team, Laura.
Well, I think in most friendships, words are said that people don't like, right? And sometimes it takes a little time to get over, and sometimes it takes a longer time. I think that words are words, and it's whatever. We both are very passionate about the Solheim Cup, and I think that Meg kind of said it best to me today. I would assume that when you're watching, you're feeling like you're a participant in the Solheim Cup. And as much as Dottie and I have shared, I've known Dottie since I was 10 years old, so there's a lot more that goes into it than just she was a commentator. And I'd like to believe that she was playing that match with me and she was feeling what I was feeling, and words came out that, you know, they were just words. I think that we've spoken a lot since then. I've kind of actually been in her position. I commentated last year or 2 years ago on the Solheim Cup, and it's definitely a different position, a player and an announcer, and it's all behind us. I mean, we've been family for so long. I think that that's probably why it bothered me the most. But now I just see it from a point of view that the passion that came out is the passion that we have for the Solheim Cup.
Well, I would say the same thing. And if I made one crucial mistake, it was breaking a broadcast rule, and that is you're never supposed to root. And I did. And the switch wasn't off when I did. And I said something that I would have and have said to myself numerous times, and it happened to go out over the air. But I think the thing that is most important to remember about the Solheim Cup itself, that while it drives passion and that can sometimes scar a friendship, the Solheim Cup is also way bigger to mend it again.
Yeah, when we talked about this, I have been slapped in the face with life is too short in the last few years. And life's too short. And if they're okay with it, the rest of us are okay with it. And I'm happy to see this. And I'm no dummy. I mean, these two love this event, and they should be together enjoying this event together. So I'm happy about it.
You've picked a couple real feisty assistant captains. I mean, from a personality perspective.
Well, we did something good here today. We let Beth Ann keep her job.
Exactly.
Talk about that, and what they will add to the team in that regard.
Right.
From an emotional standpoint.
Well, it's so funny you say that, and my friends that are here in the crowd that know a different Meg Mallon than what most people think. I'm like a duck on a pond. Everything is going pretty fast underneath. So I have equally the same intensity. It's just handled a little differently. These guys are a little more outward than I am. So really, we're going to balance each other really well. My whole theme about the Solheim Cup is we're going to have so much fun. This is going to be a blast. My team is going to have so much fun, and that's the bottom line. It's a sporting event. It's the greatest event in women's golf. If you're privileged to be 12 people on that team, you're going to have a good time.
There's a lot of smiles in the back from some of those ladies. I've got one more question for you two, and then if you have a question out there, raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you. A lot of times the captain of any professional team or coach gets too much credit. It's always said when they win and not enough or too much when they lose. As an assistant to the captain, I'm sure you've thought a lot about this opportunity for you guys and how you handle your role and how you make a difference beyond just being an assistant captain. How do you feel you'll do that? How will you make a difference for Meg Mallon? You first, Laura.
Well, I mean, I want to be there to Oh, okay. How will you're asking the question too. I think that it's a supportive role, and so basically do whatever she asks. But no, I think the relationship that I have with all the players that are still playing, and the way that, like the go-between to help figure out certain pairings or, how someone fits together, who's comfortable. I'm hoping to be more like that buffer, and then I can give her the added support she needs, if she's kind of wavering on who she wants to put together, stuff like that. I hope that the girls are at a point where all of us are still competing against each other, but we have a relationship, a respect that I've developed with them over the years that, they're comfortable coming to me and saying, you know what, this is my good friend, and I love playing practice rounds together, but it's just we're not feeling it out there. Can we make a change? So, I just want to give Meg the best support that I can give her, and, sleep is something that we don't get much that week, so, if they can come to me with problems and let me take the heat on the sleep and let her, because she's got to have that fine-tuned brain.
Uh-oh.
Dottie?
Well, I'm one of the few that's actually spent some time at Colorado Golf Club. I worked all 72 holes of the 2010 Senior PGA Championship, so I've seen it in tournament conditions, so I think that's certainly an asset for our side. Although it won't be the same time of the year, it still will have a lot of characteristics that saw in major championships set up. I have said this since last July. I've been the UPS man for Meg. What can Brown do for you? I'm a firefighter.
She's been great. If I ask her to do something,
fires.
Yeah, if I ask her to do something, it's done yesterday. I mean,
so that's basically it's been to take the details off her plate so she can paint in broad strokes, and make sure things are done with the staff on site, with everything else that goes in to getting prepared. I mean, it's not just about the week of the Cup. It's about the practice rounds. It's about special trips. It's about being prepared for media days that we've had. It's been all of that. So if there were details that I could take off her plate and make sure the little things were done, that's what I tried to do.
Jerry Foltz. Nope.
No.
Meg, your two assistant captains are two players that I think most people in this room, certainly LPGA and golf fans worldwide, would hope to see, if not perhaps expect to see as future captains. Does that go into your decision?
Yes, you're a smart man, Jerry. I am a pay-it-forward person. I was looking to the future of the Solheim Cup, bringing Dottie back into the fold of being a part of the Solheim Cups again was certainly a lot to this. About grooming future captains. I was an assistant captain in 2009. Invaluable experience. I mean, you have no idea what goes into this 2-year process. And even Rosie Jones said it last year, I wish I had been an assistant captain because there's just so much that you have to learn. So definitely a big part of it. I had a lot of list of players that were eligible for it, and these two were on my short list right away.
You want to give an update on what you've been doing as captain, aside from making this choice a couple of months ago and keeping it from us for this long? I mean, we've been to Colorado a couple of times, as Dottie talked about, and the enthusiasm in the Denver area and Parker has been outstanding.
Yeah.
Ticket sales going well. Everybody seems pretty fired up. What about from your perspective?
It's a great golf community in Colorado. We've had, the U.S. Open at Cherry Hills and then at Broadmoor, and we had terrific crowds. So we're going to have a wonderful U.S. backing, and certainly a lot of European sales have happened as well. So it's going to be a wonderful event from the fan perspective. And this week actually has been a big week. Antigua Clothing, who is a Phoenix-based company, is doing the Solheim Cup clothing. So we've had a good 30 players trying on clothes because, frankly, the top 5 are pretty much a lock, but 7 spots are wide open. And what's different this year for the Solheim Cup is the Rolex World Rankings are the 9th and 10th picks. So this is going to be completely different for who makes the team. And we could literally go to the 2 weeks before the Solheim Cup and not know 4 of our players who are on the team. So that's our biggest challenge, of the coming months is, watching how this plays out, how these players play for those 7 spots that are available. So it's been a lot of work, but a lot of fun. A lot goes into this event, but it should because it's the greatest event in women's golf, and I've really enjoyed it.
Last opportunity for a question from the audience. Yes.
So, Meg, how long have you been waiting for this captaincy? Certainly since you were an assistant captain, and how is it, now that you're in the slot, how is it different than what you expected, even with all the experience you had?
Well, it's funny. I was like Laura. I was completely surprised when Commissioner Wan called me and said that I was the next captain. It's not ever something, it's something that you would hope you would get a chance to do, but when that phone call comes, it's pretty cool. So from that perspective, I was excited. The background on Colorado Golf Club, my teacher actually started and built Colorado Golf Club. So I've known this golf course before there was even a hole in the ground. So I have a history with this place, which is kind of special for me to be there and be captain there. And then the second part of your question was? Oh, how's it different than when I expected to be? It's a lot of work. I dabble in social media a little bit. I am not married to a computer, and now I am. So that's been an interesting process, just a lot of information. I mean, it's from, what are we having breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day? What rooms are people staying in? What clothing are we wearing what day? It's from 24 hours figuring out 6 days of being in Colorado of what we're doing every minute, and then working backwards to practice sessions, getting my players out there to see the golf course. It's a lot, but it's a lot of fun. It's it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm embracing it.
Anybody else? One final thought from Laura Diaz. It's about you today as we all get to leave the stage. What would this mean to you to be a part of this team getting the cup back?
The honor and the privilege that go along with the Solheim Cup, I think, make all of us in the room speechless. So I think that my final word would be USA all the way.
There you go.
Laura Diaz, assistant captain. Dottie, thank you very much. Meg?
Thanks, Craig.
Keep a good thing going.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you
you go.
all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.